Hey, Steelers Nation. We're back with an exclusive video packed with the latest updates on our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll never miss any exclusive updates or exciting Steelers news. It exploded across the league like a lightning strike, and the whispers turned into a roar the moment the name Odell Beckham Jr. became linked with Pittsburgh. Because when a star like that even flirts with the idea of wearing black and gold, the imagination of the fan base goes absolutely wild. This is the kind of move that feels bigger than a simple signing rumor, because it touches pride, history, and identity. Pittsburgh has always been about toughness, discipline, and that quiet confidence that does not need to scream to be respected. And suddenly you have a receiver known for swagger, flair, and unforgettable moments stepping into that world. The speculation alone already feels like a show, because people are not just talking about routes and catches, they're talking about energy, about headlines, about how the cameras would follow every warm-up, every sideline reaction, every smile or stare. The idea of Beckham promising a show in Pittsburgh feeds perfectly into this narrative, because it suggests hunger, motivation, and maybe even a sense of unfinished business. Fans start asking whether this is about legacy, redemption, or simply proving that he can still be that unstoppable force when given the right stage. In a city of steel, where wide receivers are expected to earn respect through grit as much as talent, the rumor alone already creates tension and excitement. It feels like the kind of story that divides opinions, fuels debates, and keeps everyone glued, waiting to see whether this is a calculated risk or a masterstroke that could redefine the identity of the offense. When you dig deeper into why this rumor carries so much weight, it becomes clear that it is not only about Odell Beckham Jr. as a player, but about what he represents in this specific moment for the Steelers. Pittsburgh has been searching for that spark, that presence on the outside who can change the way defenses line up before the ball is even snapped. The speculation suggests that Beckham sees Pittsburgh not as a final stop, but as a stage where expectations are heavy and rewards are even heavier. There is something poetic about the idea of a receiver known for spectacular catches and emotional fire stepping into a franchise that values accountability and resilience. The promise of a show is not just about highlights. It is about confidence, about telling the locker room and the fan base that he believes something special can be built there. Rumors swirl about conversations behind closed doors, about mutual interest, about a shared belief that this partnership could unlock something explosive. Critics question whether the fit makes sense, whether personalities will clash, or whether the system will limit his freedom. Supporters argue that structure might be exactly what allows him to thrive again. In a city that respects effort above all else, the idea of Beckham embracing that culture creates a fascinating contrast. This is why the speculation refuses to die, because it is not a simple yes or no question. It is a story about identity, ambition, and whether star power and tradition can merge into something unforgettable. The locker room angle is another layer that makes this rumor feel alive, because whenever a player like Odell Beckham Jr. enters the conversation, people immediately wonder how teammates would react. In Pittsburgh, respect is earned daily, and veterans and young players alike are watching closely to see who is willing to buy into the standard. The speculation paints a picture of Beckham walking into that room with a point to prove, aware that reputation alone means nothing if it is not backed up by commitment. The promise of a show could be interpreted not as arrogance, but as motivation, as a message that he plans to work, compete, and bring energy that lifts everyone around him. Teammates might see an opportunity to learn from his experience, to feed off his confidence, and to benefit from the attention he draws from defenses. At the same time, there's that unspoken challenge, because Pittsburgh does not hand anything to anyone. The rumor suggests conversations about roles, expectations, and accountability, all crucial in making sure that star power does not disrupt chemistry. Fans imagine practices becoming more intense, competitive, and electric, with every catch turning heads. This is why the idea feels so compelling, because it is not just about what happens on the field, but about how personalities align, how leadership emerges, and how a bold move could either elevate the entire group or test its unity in ways that define the season. From a tactical standpoint, the speculation opens endless discussions about how the Steelers' offense could evolve with Odell Beckham Jr. in the mix. Even without diving into specific results or moments, it is easy to imagine the ripple effect his presence alone could create. Defenses would have to respect his ability to win one-on-one, to stretch the field, and to turn routine plays into momentum-shifting explosions. This kind of threat changes play calling, spacing, and confidence across the board. The rumor suggests that Beckham is not coming to be a complementary piece, but to be a focal point, someone who demands attention and delivers when it matters. That promise of a show resonates because it implies preparation, focus, and a desire to be decisive rather than decorative. Analysts debate whether the Steelers system would adapt to highlight his strengths or whether he would adapt to fit the system. And that tension is exactly what fuels speculation. Fans envision younger players benefiting from lighter coverage, tighter windows opening up, and an overall sense of unpredictability returning to the offense. The idea alone injects hope because it suggests ambition instead of caution. In Pittsburgh, where fans appreciate boldness backed by effort, the possibility of Beckham embracing that challenge feels like a statement that the team is not content with stability, but hungry for something more dynamic. Emotion plays a massive role in why this rumor feels so powerful, because Odell Beckham Jr. has always been a polarizing figure who evokes strong reactions. In Pittsburgh, emotions run deep, and the fan base does not shy away from expressing skepticism or excitement in equal measure. The speculation taps into that emotional core by suggesting a storyline of redemption, where a player who has faced doubts and setbacks chooses a city that demands resilience. The promise of a show sounds like a vow to silence critics and reward believers. Supporters imagine the roar of the crowd, the energy building with every target, and that shared sense of anticipation that something special could happen at any moment. Skeptics warn about distractions, about expectations becoming burdens, and about whether the spotlight could become overwhelming. Yet even those doubts add fuel to the conversation, because they make the potential payoff feel even greater. This is why the rumor dominates discussions, because it is not neutral, it forces people to take a stance. In a league driven by narratives, this one feels tailor-made for debate, hope, and dramatic twists. The idea of Beckham choosing Pittsburgh feels symbolic, like a crossroads where reputation meets tradition, and only time would reveal whether that collision produces fireworks or friction. As the speculation continues to spread, the broader message behind this rumored signing becomes clearer because it signals intent. For the Steelers, being linked to Odell Beckham Jr. suggests a willingness to take a calculated gamble, to embrace star power without abandoning core values. For Beckham, the promise of a show in Pittsburgh feels like a declaration that he is ready to embrace scrutiny, pressure, and expectation. This mutual interest, even at the rumor stage, tells a story of ambition aligning with opportunity. Fans read between the lines, interpreting every comment, every silence, every subtle hint as confirmation that something big is brewing. The absence of official confirmation only amplifies the drama, because speculation thrives in uncertainty. In a city that lives and breathes football, this kind of rumor becomes part of daily conversation, shaping moods and expectations. Whether this move ultimately becomes reality or remains a tantalizing what-if, the impact of the rumor itself is undeniable. It energizes the fan base, challenges assumptions, and reminds everyone that football is not just about plays and statistics, but about belief, emotion, and the thrill of imagining what could be when talent and tradition collide. The second wave of speculation dives even deeper into what Odell Beckham Jr. promising a show in Pittsburgh truly means on a personal level, because words like that carry weight when spoken in the context of a franchise with such a demanding culture. This rumor paints Beckham as someone who understands that stepping into Pittsburgh is not about comfort, but about confrontation with expectations. The city does not celebrate potential alone. It celebrates production earned through effort. The promise of a show can be read as a commitment to intensity, to preparation, and to embracing the grind that defines the Steelers' identity. Fans imagine him arriving with a chip on his shoulder, motivated not by past accolades, but by the desire to write a new chapter that feels authentic and respected. The speculation suggests a maturity in his approach, an understanding that this opportunity would require discipline as much as flair. Conversations swirl about how this environment could sharpen his focus, channel his emotions, and turn passion into consistency. For a player whose career has been filled with highlights and controversy, Pittsburgh represents a chance to be remembered not just for moments, but for impact. That narrative alone is powerful enough to keep the rumor alive, because it offers the possibility of transformation rather than repetition. There is also a business and branding angle that quietly fuels this rumor, even if fans prefer to focus purely on football. Odell Beckham Jr. in Pittsburgh would be a headline machine, instantly drawing national attention to every move the Steelers make. The speculation hints at a mutual understanding that this partnership would elevate visibility, conversations, and relevance. For the Steelers, who traditionally let their success speak louder than marketing, embracing a player with such a massive profile would be a subtle shift without abandoning principles. For Beckham, aligning with a storied franchise could recalibrate how he is perceived, moving the conversation away from individual drama toward collective purpose. The promise of a show in this context feels like confidence that the stage is right, that the audience is ready, and that the spotlight can be shared rather than overwhelming. Critics argue that distractions could follow, but supporters counter that structure and leadership in Pittsburgh could keep focus where it belongs. This tension between exposure and discipline is part of what makes the rumors so compelling, because it suggests a balance that could redefine both sides if handled correctly. From the perspective of leadership, this rumor sparks debate about how Odell Beckham Jr. would fit into the Steelers' hierarchy. Pittsburgh values voices that lead by example, through preparation and consistency. The speculation suggests that Beckham is aware of this and willing to adapt, to earn respect not through words alone, but through daily actions. The promise of a show becomes less about individual celebration and more about raising the collective standard. Teammates could see him as someone who brings experience, confidence, and an edge that sharpens competition. There is also the question of accountability, because in Pittsburgh, stars are not above criticism. This environment could either challenge Beckham in a way that brings out his best or expose cracks if commitment wavers. That uncertainty keeps fans engaged because it frames the rumor as a test of character as much as talent. The idea of Beckham embracing tough coaching, demanding practices, and honest feedback adds depth to the narrative. It suggests that this move, if real, would not be about comfort, but about growth under pressure. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Strategically, the speculation extends beyond the field and into how opponents would prepare mentally for a Steelers team featuring Odell Beckham Jr. Even without discussing specific games or outcomes, the psychological impact is undeniable. Defenses would have to account for his presence, respect his ability to flip momentum, and remain disciplined at all times. This kind of threat forces caution, opens opportunities, and injects unpredictability. The rumor suggests that Beckham understands this power and is eager to wield it responsibly, using attention to benefit the entire offense. The promise of a show becomes a promise of pressure, of forcing opponents to react rather than dictate. Fans imagine the confidence this could instill throughout the roster, knowing that there is always a chance for something special to happen. That belief alone can change how a team carries itself, how it practices, and how it approaches challenges. In a league where confidence often separates good from great, this speculative move feels like a statement of intent rather than desperation. Emotionally, the idea of Odell Beckham Jr. in Pittsburgh taps into a deeper longing among fans for moments that feel electric and unforgettable. Steelers supporters are known for their loyalty and intensity, and they crave players who match that energy. The promise of a show resonates because it suggests passion, engagement, and a willingness to connect with the crowd. Speculation paints scenes of the stadium erupting, of anticipation building with every opportunity, of that shared electricity that turns routine moments into memories. Skeptics caution against getting carried away, reminding everyone that promises must be fulfilled, not just spoken. Yet even that caution adds texture to the story, because it underscores how much this rumor matters. It is not met with indifference, but with emotion on all sides. This is why the conversation refuses to fade, because it speaks to the heart of what football means in Pittsburgh: community, pride, and shared experience. Ultimately, whether this rumor becomes reality or remains a powerful what-if, the story of Odell Beckham Jr. promising a show in Pittsburgh already feels like a defining moment in the conversation around the Steelers. It symbolizes ambition, risk, and the allure of blending star power with tradition. Fans analyze every angle, from culture fit to on-field impact, from leadership dynamics to emotional resonance. The absence of certainty keeps the imagination alive, and in many ways, that is the beauty of speculation. It allows fans to dream, to debate, and to project hopes onto a possible future. For Beckham, the rumor frames him as a player still hungry, still driven, and still eager to command a stage that demands the best. For Pittsburgh, it represents a willingness to explore bold paths while trusting in identity. Until clarity arrives, this story lives on through conversation, anticipation, and the undeniable thrill of imagining what could happen if promise meets opportunity in the City of Steel. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.